Hello everyone, I'm Old Sorathale, and this is One Step from Eden. For those of you who don't know, One Step from Eden is a recent title that takes the combat system from the Mega Man Battle Network games, combines that with deck building and roguelike elements from Slay the Spire and others, and then sets that mix to the relentless pace of Crypt of the Necrodancer. If you don't know any of those games, I apologize, but you'll get a good feel for the game as I do a casual run through it today. I have no specific build in mind, this is just going to be a casual run, and I'm going to take the cards that I usually win with. It's a long list, but it usually works for me. I will also be taking the path that has the least amount of spoilers in it, so you won't have to worry about ruining any endings here. If I even make it that far. I usually won't be talking much during battle, but this first one is nice and easy. Any decisions I make in between battles I will explain to the best of my ability, such as this one. Immediately, I am going to take shields up, because having shields is just a good way to put off losing. The more damage you can take before dying, the better. I'm also going to make sure to set up my foci, so the game biases the card drops a little bit. I want Anima, mostly for fire, and I want some more Phalanx cards for shields. I'm also immediately going to remove Frostbolt because it's not very useful for me. Let's move on. Going to go for a Hazard early because it has extra rewards. And of course it's giving me Frost cards instead of Fire. Frost is its own gimmick, it can be useful, but I'm not going with it this time. I will be going with Acid Rain though, that could be useful later. If I was going for a kunai build, this would be awesome. But I'm not. So we're just gonna get some more mana so I can cast more cards in a row. And yes, I just took the shots so the hostage did not have to. Ring of Fire. This is what I want. I want as much fire as possible. It's just an easy way to do reliable damage while still being able to dodge. Next. And this is one of my favorite cards. Ooh, but so is this. No. I'm going to go with Forte. You can only use it once per battle because it has Consume, but that 150 shield is a good head start. More fire. Oh yes, I forgot to mention. I've been playing this game a lot, so I have pretty much everything unlocked. You won't see a lot of these things that I'm going to as you play the game yourself, if you end up doing so. No matter how much defense an enemy has, you will always do at least 1 damage per hit. I will happily take that. Since I already have a poison card, and it's trying to give me them anyway, I will take Anubis. Probably the easiest poison card to use. Another fight down. With what I'm doing, I don't really want any of these. Minefield is okay, but it's going to be another a little slightly too expensive card in the deck. Glassify is usually good if you have big single hits, but I do not. And Cold Medicine is Frost and useless if you're not going with a Frost build. On to the first boss. I'm terrible at dodging the diagonals, by the way. And that's Terra defeated. Yep, and I am going to take her out because I don't like her assist. If you rescue characters, or if you spare characters, they can assist you at the start of battle. It's pretty random, but they always do the same thing. Pretty random when it happens, but they always do the same thing. I'm gonna take Pyroblast here just because it's a strong, easy-to-use card. Terra breaks tiles on the enemy side, so it limits their ability to move around. I would like to upgrade a card. When you kill a character like that, kill a boss, you get a card and an artifact. I decided to go with that for Terra for the reasons I just explained. Let's upgrade Ring of Fire, because I'm going to be using that a lot. Double cast. Double cast is almost always good. Less so in this case because it's too expensive. I don't have that much mana. So we're just going to go with 10 shield because that's the easiest one for me. Let's see if we can get Shiso out of the way. Nope, it's Hazel. There we go. This run is trying very hard to give me Frost cards. Normally I would take this one just because it deals a lot of damage, but I'm going with more reliable cards. So skipping that. Let's head for the shop. I've got enough money. Not as clean as I would have liked it to have been, but the hostage survived. We're good. And again, cards I don't really want. Another mana vein. Or, no, first mana vein, the other was a mana gem. This is tempting. 8 spell power is a big deal, that's a lot of extra damage. But losing 1 hit point per second during battle is not something I'm too fond of. And I'm not too fond of any of these either. What a shame. There we go. Ah yes, Magic Claw. Now this one I will take. It's a very good standalone card and works with pretty much every deck. And again, I don't want any of these. Flurry can be really good if you have something to stop things from getting pushed back. And the Shopkeeper, which I'm not going to fight. You definitely can. I don't recommend it until you get much better at this game, but you definitely can. I want Switchbait. Kind of. Not as much as I just want a laser pointer. Upgrade. And that's gonna be it from this shop. Let's upgrade Magic Claw, because again, it's very reliable. and this time I will definitely take the double cast. Alright. Second boss. There we go. I will be sparing Hazel, because I do like her assist, and because I want to show off what happens when you spare somebody. Let's go for Celicy or Violette next. Ah yes, I forgot to explain this, and I will do so after this fight. Oh, no, I'll do so during this fight, because this one's going to be nice and easy. The bosses are not set. You choose which ones to fight by picking what areas you go to. There's a pair of bosses for each area, and they change strength depending on how late in the game you fight them. Basically, if you have trouble with a certain boss, try fighting them earlier, so you get a weaker version of them. And I don't want any of these. I do want another mana gem, though. There we go. This is by far my favorite card in the game. Just good old Firewall. Nice, reliable fire. Mini Thunder can be useful, especially if you're going with a low mana spam deck, but I am not. Incline, on the other hand, is another favorite card of mine. Works incredibly well with any spell power you can find, and just deals more damage than you might expect. Haste is not as useful as it sounds. It removes the delay between movement, but that's not incredibly useful in this game, at least not for me. So we're just going to go with more money. And for those of you who don't know what that enemy was, that ice pillar, any structures like that, usually towers, will have a timer on them. They don't do anything until that timer completes. Let's go for a chest this time. Oh yes, and those crystals are just piles of money. They break up into 5, and if you pick them up before they disappear, you get to keep the money. This is not incredibly useful for Saffron at the moment, but I'll take it anyway. I will also take this because it's a decent way to gain extra shields. And that's enough Phalanx cards for me right now, so we're going to switch my second focus over to Glimmer. Glimmer is just some weird cards and a lot of damage. Doesn't have any specific gimmick other than strange aiming. And here is one of the strongest Glimmer cards you're likely to find. It's 8 shots of 30 damage each. It can get very out of hand once you start upgrading it or once you start getting spell power like this. Spell power increases the damage of all of your cards, and it's per hit, not per cast. There we go. Best girl down. Celsie's a bit of a fan favorite. Let's... I do want to get Shiso out of the way, he gives me trouble. Spare Celicy. Let's go. There's Combust. Yep, definitely taking this. This is a good way to deal a lot of damage with fire. Yeah, we're gonna keep it that way still. Shine is incredibly powerful if you can land all of the shots like that. Speaking of ways to land shots, anything that roots. This probably isn't the best idea due to the mana regen down when I only have 1 mana vein, but I can't resist 10 defense. Zigzag, here's a Glimmer card. Can be very difficult to aim for some until you get used to it, but it does a lot of damage. And that's what happens when those towers wake up. Oh gee, I wonder which one I'm going to pick. Money or more money? I'm a sucker for spell power. This can be useful if you're picking up a card every chance you get. It's not much HP, but it's enough to matter. But there's no way I'm passing up Glass Cannon. And we're going to a shop because I have 425 money. Do I want Blackout? Not really. I do want another mana vein. I'd like to restock. Yeah, let's get one more mana vein. Is there anything I would like to remove? No. Alright, let's get some upgrades. And let's just apply them both to Shine. Splash damage. Chance to hit twice. Let's get splash damage. Splash damage will hit the target of the main shot too. Just pretend you didn't see me stand in a cactus. I'm a little bit embarrassed there. That was kind of terrible. I'll take a Crossfire. It's a lot of damage and it has a chance to leave flame because of the upgrade. Hello, Shiso. And that's Shiso down. And I'm gonna take him out too, because I don't really need the healing that bad, and I still don't know what his assist actually does. He shows up at campfires and gives you something, but I can't see what it is. I don't want any of this. For the record, Corset is more useful than it sounds because it will hit the shield first. It's a good way to get extra shield if you already have some. But I'm not interested. We don't need a removal, so let's just get an Amethyst. A bit more mana sustain. Well, let's get rid of Reva. Or Riva. Whichever way that's pronounced. This can be a really good card if you get used to using it, because it does block the tile, but it gives you shields every second. And this is a fun one to play with, so I'm gonna take it. I can get 2 chests. Let's do that. Oh yes, fire ignores defense, by the way. Not the cards that deal damage and also apply fire, but the flames themselves. I don't really have a need for Ember. Or any of these. There we go. What'd we win? Oh, that's nice on Saffron. For those of you who don't know, attack damage applies to... The default key is E, whatever the character's base weapon is. Saffron's weapon is those little bullets I've been shooting whenever I'm not casting spells. I do want this because it's a fairly strong attack that also gives you shields. This is Saffron's base weapon. So now this deals 2 extra damage. It's one of the smallest ways to apply fire, but it certainly works. This is very nice if you have multi-hit spells, or if you just end up using a lot of spells. It's a little bit of extra damage here and there, no matter what you're doing. Thorn Mail. Not the best, but it's a little bit of help, and it's gonna give it to me anyway, so. This is tempting because I have as much spell power as I do. It'll do 17 damage per hit, and you can see how fast it hits up there at the top. Nah, I'm not gonna do that though. Doesn't really go with what I'm doing. I have 1 root. Bit messy, but we got it. This is kind of a silly spell, but it's nice and useful. It doesn't really get in the way of other stuff in your deck unless you use a lot of dashes or otherwise need positioning. I'm going to spare her because her assist is, well, it's an extra life. It saves you once. Sorry for any awkward cut there, but real life strikes at inopportune times. On to the next boss. One of my favorite bosses to fight. Well, on to the next level with one of my favorite bosses to fight. There we go. Hostage saved. Double cast Diag Beam. I'm horrible at aiming this, just like I'm horrible at dodging this. But it's very powerful, especially since I have spell power, so we're taking it anyway. Yeah, let's go for the shop. Nope, don't want any of these. Well, so much for the hostage. Yeah, flawless, let's call it that. That just means I didn't get hit by the enemy. That's all that means. I would take this, except I start with a stack of Fragile from Glass Cannon, and I don't really apply Fragile with anything. Yeah, I will take Explosive Tendons. It will probably kill a few hostages, but it's useful otherwise. Speaking of hostages, I don't really have any time to get spell power with this. There aren't going to be many more hostages. So let's get Shield Battery. Blue Blood. Not my favorite, but if it's gonna give it to me anyway, I'll take it. This is a favorite of mine, though. Freeze for a half second and add 1 solar beam to your deck. Anchor just means you can't move while this is casting. And solar beam is just a very large 200 damage laser. That's it. What do you have for me, shopkeeper? We'll take one of those. Let's do a quick restock. Let's see if we can get something special. That's not quite worth it. If I was going with a Trinity build, I would absolutely take this card. This is one of the things that can make a Trinity build. Certain cards will get doubled or just stronger effects if you have Trinity ready. That'll be a different run, though. For now, upgrades. Upgrade Firewall. Double cast, yes. Double cast Firewall. And Combust, or something more reliable. Let's buff Incline. Chance to... Nope. Double cast Incline. That's ridiculous, yes. Now, Violet, or Violette, I'm not sure which one's quite right, has a gimmick. If you see me stepping on note tiles instead of avoiding them, that's on purpose, I promise. Here we go. That usually doesn't go quite that well. I usually have a bit more trouble with Violet 4. On to the next one. Yeah, I lost 1 hit point. Wow. What'd we win? Here's a Trinity card. This is one of the things I was talking about. Very powerful if you have ways to set it up. Kind of useless if you don't. Huh. You know what? That's worth it. That's just 100 damage twice for 1 mana. Oh no! This is actually the second time I've ever seen this card. It deals 2 damage 100 times. But since spell power applies a flat number, this is actually going to do... This is going to be doing 9 damage per shot. We're taking that. None of these are very useful for me. Moving on. Do I want to change this to anything? No. No. Anima and Glimmer. Hey, I aimed Diag Beam on purpose for a change. That's not too useful since I don't really shuffle all that much. This is almost always useful if you can keep up with it. Do I want adaptive? Yeah, I want adaptive armor. That's just a bit more buffer, so you don't die quite as fast when you start to get pummeled. And this is the last shop I will be seeing. No, I gotta take this as Saffron. That's a lot of extra damage. Can't do anything else here now, though. Because I'm not donating blood. I'm not giving up hit points. Not for any of this. See you later, shopkeeper. That's too expensive. Yeah, we'll take this. This can be useful. If nothing else, it's a decent amount of damage. And Gunner down. We're going to spare him for the healing, because here comes the last boss you'll see in this run. Approaching Eden. Welcome to the wall. I got it. The wall is down. Honestly, didn't expect to do that without dying at least once, but now it's over. Oh. There we go. That's supposed to happen, by the way. And that will wrap it up for this run of One Step from Eden. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope I didn't talk too much. And I hope you'll be here next time, because we're gonna do a different run. Maybe Reva, maybe Gunner, we shall see. If you're still here, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and please subscribe for more One Step from Eden in the future. If you like what you see here, leave me a like and a comment, and I'll keep doing what I'm doing. If you don't like what you see, please let me know why, and I'll see what I can do better. Stay safe, stay sane, and I'll see you next time.